Very critical. Why is early collaboration required, and who it actually benefits? It's actually a win-win-win situation. Whether it's a customer, it's a contractor, or it's a racking supplier like us. We have to sit down in the very beginning of the stages, and we cannot stress that on anymore. The reason being because if we are not already ahead of the time, in the game plan, and sit down with all the stakeholders that are in the play, we can sit down and we can discuss the requirements of the customer, discuss that, how it actually will impact the building that is being constructed, and how can we tailor make the system, either that's a racking or either that's a storage platform. What will be the location? What will be the size? Either they need a 1 level, 2 level, 3, or even multi-tiered platform levels. What are the requirements for them? What type of products are they going to work with? All these basic and small questions actually poses a really big higher risk in the end of the day. So we want to make sure like we are sitting down with all the stakeholders and understanding all their needs ahead of time as well. That's why we always call for early calls. We always call for early initiation of the project phases to understand the requirements and to better implement, and so that we can provide an efficient system in the end of the day to the customer. Next slide. And over to you, Len.
Thank you, Waleed. SLAB designs. When it comes to SLAB designs, it's important to consider the different types of product loads you'll be working with in the racking system. These loads get transferred through our uprights down to the slab, which are referred to post loads. Once post loads are determined, you can then design the correct slab thickness for the building. This is generally required for any racking permit applications. In the Greater Toronto area, new slabs are typically on average between 4 to 6 inches, which covers most general applications. But some customers may require additional rebar or thicker slab, depending on the products that they'll be storing in the building. Another solution we can offer when the slab is existing is bearing plates. Sometimes if a customer is moving into an existing building, we may need to introduce a thicker foot plate or even a bearing plate to help distribute the loads on the slab. Next slide, please. Building columns. Building columns are often a racking designer's worst nightmare. They always find a way to be in the way of our racking systems. But 80% of the time, we're designing racking systems around existing buildings, which already have designated building column locations. We then adjust our racking aisles width in the building to try and reduce the loss of pallet positions due to them being in the way. One of the things we really want to try is when customers are paying lots of money for these rack storage systems, we want to make sure that the building columns, such as the one on the left in the picture, are in between 2 racking bays. So if you look further down, you can kind of see the building column in between the rack, which allows you not to lose any pallet positions in the rack, which customers are paying to store. It's important for us to collaborate with both the builder and customers' racking design from the very beginning to ensure optimal racking designs. Next slide, please. Ceiling height is one of the first questions we ask when designing a racking system. We always want to try and maximum our racking system height. Oftentimes, our limiting factors in a building are sprinklers and lighting. But if we start our rack design at the same time of the architect building design, we can avoid these limitations. Real estate is becoming more and more expensive. Therefore, it's beneficial for us to design the racking as high as we can. A good example of that is cold storage customers. The cost for cold storage customers to run that building and to have those air conditioning units cool the whole warehouse can be quite expensive. So instead of going wider in the footprint, they want to go higher. And of course, we can commit to that with our racking systems, and we can certainly do that. But we need to work with the building and make sure that the building is high enough to accommodate those types of racking systems. At the same time, you want to be careful not to build rack too high, because it may not be beneficial for the customers to operate in their facility efficiently. So it's a fine balance that you really need to have a discussion at the very beginning of the process, like Waleed was saying, and make sure that the height of the system is correct based on what the customer's needs are. Next slide, please.